Good morning, my friend. Great to be with you again. Welcome to the after show. And I'm a little kind of a relaxed mood. Hey, there are some stories that are happening this morning that I want to share with you. I will get to those in just a minute. Steve, I know you're here already. And it's always good to connect with you, Steve. So I appreciate he's Greg, new movie out this fall, Cat NATO. It looks terrible, like Sharknado. I think I watched two of those Sharknado movies. Oh, they're bad. He said, the first movie I'm excited for since Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. You're a sick man, Steve. Well, let's get to some of these are stories that now are moving this morning since I have gotten off the air. Let me run a few of these down for you. And again, one of the things that I like doing is I like looking at left-leaning news sources, and then I contrast that because it's interesting when you see even the left-wing media. Newsweek is pretty left-wing. I mean, Newsweek is pretty solidly left wing. Newsweek this morning, Joe Biden reportedly loses top Democrats as pressure grows to stand aside. And some of these stories I shared this morning, like Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, Hakeem Jeffries, who is the House Minority Leader, former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, have all spoken with Biden. Schumer and Jeffries, the top two Democrats in Congress, are said to have both privately told Biden they're concerned about the president's chances of victory, and it might be best if he drops out of the race. Pelosi apparently is flexing her muscles. Washington Examiner now this morning. Pelosi coordinating behind the scenes in a dump Biden movement. The shark that never sleeps, apparently, somebody, and talking about Nancy Pelosi. So Pelosi now has joined other Democratic leaders. She has privately told Biden polling shows that he can't win. He can't beat Donald Trump, and he could destroy Democrats' chances to take the House if he continues seeking reelection. See, I really, and I know some people get shook up that I talk about this. Why are we, talking about encouraging Joe Biden to? No, that's not me encouraging Joe Biden to drop out of the race. I don't want to see him drop out of the race. I hope he doesn't. These are Democrats. So I think, if you're following events, you want to know what Democrats are saying. That's just, at least it's clear to me. It's not clear to everyone, apparently. But Pelosi, then, she's trying to push Biden to drop out of the race. She has said everything. She did not tell Biden to drop out of the race. She has said everything but that in recent days, according to the Washington Examiner. She said in the interview last week that the president had a decision to make, even though Biden has forcefully said numerous times that he's staying in the race. Now, as I mentioned on the air this morning, there are some stories out there. Politico had a story that Nancy Pelosi's aides are saying that privately, it may get to a point where she will publicly call for Biden to step down. She has not done it publicly yet. So these are all conversations. Again, I think it's important to note, these are conversations that are taking place privately. Biden is being pressured to withdraw, being encouraged to withdraw. You're going to hurt other Democrats down ticket if you don't withdraw. And despite that, he's standing fast. Now, I'm not surprised one bit. I mean, I think the view from the other side of the aisle is this guy is, he didn't care about anybody but himself. He didn't care about the party. He doesn't care about the country. I think that's been made crystal clear. You see that on the border. You see in a lot of other ways as well. And I think There was always a sense from Democrats that, okay, maybe he doesn't care about the border, maybe he doesn't care about all these other things, but he cares about us. No, no, it doesn't appear that he does. Doesn't appear that he cares about anybody but himself. We'll see. So some other stories that are moving this morning. This is from Axios. Biden infuriates Democrats with a post-COVID "I'm sick" tweet. What is that? Now, these are stories that have moved just in the last few hours. So I've not seen these before. Congressional Democrats were baffled Wednesday when President Biden's account on X posted "I'm sick" as a fundraising appeal. And one House Democrat says, "I doubt Joe Biden approved that tweet. Not helpful at all." The lawmaker added, "They need to read the room." They never do, though. They never do. Why are Democrats shocked that the president and the White House can't read the room? I mean, that's been obvious to me since he was running for president. Just absolutely incredible. So several House and Senate Democrats offered well wishes with Senator Peter Welch of Vermont, who has called for Biden to withdraw, posting on X that he and his wife wishing Biden a full and quick recovery from COVID. I think the question there is, do you believe that Joe Biden's actually got COVID? Does he actually have COVID? See, I don't believe that he does. I don't believe that he does. I think this is, once again, him, just as he did during the campaign, during COVID, when he just retreated home and he campaigned from home. How that guy could win from home just baffles me. And we see him just retreating to home, going home. It's what a disaster. This is a story from Outkick that I'm just seeing this morning. David Hookstad's got a piece at Outkick. And the president apparently forgot the name of Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin. And this was during his interview with BET. And he said, "It's all about treating people with dignity. For example, look at the heat I'm getting because I named the Secretary of Defense the black man." He can't even remember his name. From the Secretary of Defense, the black man. What's his? Wow. And when you cannot remember the names of your cabinet, I think it's pretty fair for Americans to ask, should this guy be the president of the United States? And this is during an interview, no less. During an interview, you can't remember. Just absolutely incredible. And there's clips of this then that are going on. And David Hookstad says, "This is a really tough look for Biden in a long line of embarrassing moments. I think he was trying to refer to the fact that he's put black people in prominent positions while speaking with BET, meant to say a black man when referring to Austin's race, but he couldn't remember his name." Just absolutely incredible. There's a piece at Town Hall. Interesting. They said, as of, this is townhall.com, as of right now, Joe Biden is losing the 2024 election. The Republicans cannot get complacent in their ground operation, their messaging, or and I agree with this, Democrats should not, or excuse me, Republicans should not get complacent. Oh, no. I think you've got people in power who are going to punch back hard. Joe Biden is, that's another matter. But all of these other Democrats, and I think you're seeing that with the pressure increasing that he drop out of the race. And I think they're going to turn up the heat here as the days go on. So Republicans should not be complacent. I agree with this in their messaging. But Town Hall says, but for now, Joe Biden is looking at an electoral college blowout. And Democrats on the Hill, some of Biden's most vocal critics after his debate performance, are bracing for total disaster should Biden try to hold on to the job. Well, the national polls have Biden within a few points of Donald Trump. He needs to be polling significantly higher to have a clear path to 270, and he doesn't. He doesn't. And so you're seeing that Politico has got a piece about the mayhem, and one aide is quoted. He's a Democrat aide. He is quoted by Politico as saying, regarding Democrats' chances this fall, it's over. 2 words, it's over. And then you can read more at Politico.com. But he says, they also quote a Democratic Representative Emanuel Cleaver of Missouri, said they're nervous about the upcoming election. He said, you're talking about his Democratic colleagues. He says, if anybody tells you they're not, they're lying. So yeah, they're dreadfully worried. One, inside the Capitol, Democrats who fear Biden can't win a majority of the party and a growing number are willing to say so publicly. It's over. One aide to a battleground Democrat said of the fight to flip the House. It doesn't matter if they're outperforming him by 35 effing points. The math doesn't work. They're getting more and more concerned. All right. Among some of the other, this is from the Washington Examiner. The president's expected changes to the Supreme Court are dead on arrival. Biden is reportedly considering making changes to the U.S. Supreme Court, which would include term limits for justices and a binding code of ethics. So many of these changes have been floated by Democrats, and it looks like it's all over. It's all over. That this is going to be DOA, dead on arrival. And Jim Jordan, who's the chair of the House Judiciary, said if Biden chooses to go the route of passing this legislation through Congress, he's already said these public policy proposals have no chance. They would need to pass through the Republican House and receive 60 votes in the Senate. And he said if he decides to issue them in an executive order, it would likely be challenged on its constitutionality. So all of this is pretty much DOA, this conversation. Joe Biden is absolutely grasping at straws. And it's just been absolutely incredible to watch. There was one other story I had this morning in the stack of stuff. You know, we have talked before about diversity, equity, and inclusion, DEI. And we've got another company, major corporation, that's moving away from DEI. John Deere has moved away from, quote, socially motivated messages, and they're eliminating their DEI initiatives because there's been tremendous backlash. You know, companies that engage in this kind of thing get incredible amount of backlash. And what are you in the business of? John Deere now, and kudos to John Deere, apparently making the decision, hey, wait a minute, they must have been reminded that they're in the business of selling tractors, not pushing diversity, equity, and inclusion and social change and all of that nonsense. So it's refreshing to me. So John Deere announced that it will eliminate nearly all of its DEI initiatives in order to try and restore consumers' trust and confidence. And it follows a boycott campaign against John Deere after it was revealed in a recent video report that John Deere's DEI principles do not align with their client base, which is predominantly conservative. So, but what do you see? I think you see, I don't know where this is coming from within John Deere, but I can't help but wonder if these are new employees and if these are people that are coming up that they're not concerned about what's best for John Deere. They want to see what they want. That's what I wonder, don't you? I mean, you just look at these companies who are doing this and you go, I mean, I have thought this even with the NFL and and so on. It's one of the reasons I no longer watch the NFL. I did not watch a single game last season, not one. Not the Super Bowl, not even the commercials, the morning after, no interest. I mean, that's how much they have poisoned the NFL. And then you see these private corporations then moving in that same kind of direction. It's like, what's the matter with you? John Deere should have looked at their client base and generally conservative people, and that's who our client base is. Why would you embrace diversity, equity, and inclusion and these DEI principles? It's just absolute. The big banks and all of that are solidly into DEI. That's one thing. But John Deere, so they're pulling away from it, and they sent out a release. They said John Deere was founded. Let's see if I can get a bigger version of this. They posted it to X. John Deere was founded in America's heartland nearly 200 years ago by an entrepreneur deeply committed to delivering innovative products to his customers. And they said, to best serve our customers and employees, Deere is always listening to feedback and looking for opportunities to improve. And they said, based on these ongoing conversations, we have committed to the following. We will no longer participate in or support external social or cultural awareness parades, festivals, or events. We will be focused exclusively on professional development, their business resource groups. They'll be auditing all company mandated training materials and policies. I mean, this is pretty significant. So what they're doing is they're taking a good hard look at their own company, John Deere is. And I applaud them for that. Good for them. Good for taking a look at your company and what you're doing and taking a look at your customers and who you're trying to serve and saying, hey, we're not serving our core constituency. You know what I mean? I have just been flabbergasted at the amount and the number of these companies that have just not had their eye on the ball, have not been connected to their customers, and are forging a path ahead. I think there's a lot of that's going on. And it's good to see that John Deere is taking a step back, taking a breath and saying, you know what? We're not moving forward with a lot of this stuff. It does not benefit our company, does not benefit our customers. And that's what it's all about. Why do we go to work? We go to work to make money. I'm very sincere when I tell you, I hope that my employer, Midwest Communications, I hope that they do well. I work hard so that they will do well as a company. And hopefully then that I will also do well, that I will reap some of the benefits, at least I hope, and I have. I mean, I'm very comfortable. I don't consider myself wealthy, but compared to a lot of people, yeah, I am, so, but we want to see our companies do well. We want to be invested in our companies. And when they, start to engage in that kind of stuff, and I always wonder where it comes from. Who are the people that are pushing that kind of stuff? Who are within a company and who decides that this is a good idea? And um, I think companies, as they grow large, they really lose sight. It's one of the things that as companies grow and become larger and larger, and really easy to lose sight of some of these things. Every day, you know, your everyday customer. Um, this is one of the reasons why I really appreciate hearing from all of you, your emails, your phone calls. I don't want to lose sight of you and the things that are really, really important to you. And it's good to see that John Deere has kind of come to that revelation. So that's it for this morning. I'll call it a break there. Those are some of the news headlines that are new this morning. Updates even since the Greg Belfrage show this morning. I want to thank you for being here. I want to ask you again, please hit the like button or the dislike button. But I do love reading your comments. You're free to drop me an email anytime. greg.belfrage@kelo.com is my email address. And we'll leave it there for this morning. I'll see you again tomorrow. So long until then, my friend, and may God bless. Whoops. There we go.